Yet another successful mark sheet, all 11s and 12s. This student got a 10 plus, and you can too, with the help of two main strategies that we're going to discuss today in detail. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sean, and I'm the author of internet's best-selling CELPIP 15-hour course, and I've been doing this for 15 years with the biggest CELPIP YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to summarize all my findings with all 4 modules in today's video, focusing on two main things. Let's break them down. Skills versus strategy. These are the two things you need in order to pass the CELPIP exam. This is the truth. There is no other way. There is no shortcut. This is exactly what you need to learn and implement. And we'll discuss today exactly how. The first half of the video, I'm going to discuss the skills part. Then at the end, we'll talk about strategy, which often improves things much faster in a much more guaranteed way. Now, let's break this down per module. So speaking, a lot of times when we're practicing, we need to work on the tone. It's important to understand that in all the 8 speaking parts, you will be talking to formal people, to informal people, or to the screen sometimes, which is just descriptive talk. Whenever you talk, make sure to vary your tone. Most of us avoid that and lose marks. You can't be monotone. Secondly, you want to work on task response, which obviously means make sure you read the question clearly, don't deviate, answer exactly what the question is saying. And it also means elaboration. So everything you say has to be elaborated. If I say the person in the picture is standing, don't just say that is standing, but looks frustrated because he's been waiting in the line for a long time, apparent from his facial expressions. Define your points in as much detail as possible. Some other things that we ignore and that prevent us from getting to a 10 plus are things like clarity and pauses. Now these things go hand in hand. How? When you speak clearly, you're going to speak slower, you're going to have pauses between your sentences, between your phrases, and when you do that, everything sounds clear. Also, when you're clear and you're pausing, you're not panicking, you're not running out of breath, which shows control and confidence and does not lead to further mistakes. What are some other things we need to understand? And this is very, very important if you are serious about getting a 10 plus in speaking. These are major mistakes, if not executed correctly. Timing. You got to finish before the ending time, and that means get the finish, get the concluding sentence in. If you are stopped midway while the time runs out, you're going to lose all marks. You're going to lose a lot of the marks. So make sure you have the conclusion in, and the best way to do this is not to really time yourself until the final second. So if it's 60 seconds, try to finish at 55. Always leave a little margin, and that allows you to actually finish on the exact time. Do 3 to 4 points, not more, per question, whether it's the 60-second or the 90-second question. 3 to 4 points are enough as long as you explain them with quality. Once again, remember, descriptions. Make sure you elaborate them. Quantity points are not needed. Quality points are the key. Now, let's move on to our next module, but before that, I got something good for you. We are doing a giveaway of our mock tests platform for free. All you got to do is like this video, comment down below, we'll pick lucky winners, and they'll be given this access completely free. Moving on to reading, which is often called the hardest module in CELPIP. Now, if you are doing this exam and you're struggling here, one thing you need to really master in reading if you want to get a 10 plus is how to explain points in the passage to yourself. Here's what I mean. I'm going to demonstrate this. It is with a profound sense of responsibility and urgency that I address this correspondence to your respected committee. What is this guy saying? This guy's just saying, I want to talk to you. That's all this person is saying. It's just using very complex and complicated words. But what I just did is summarize this or explain this to myself in my own words with very simple English. And this is how you should be able to explain things to yourself. When you do this with the entire passage or parts of the passage, you understand things better and you're able to quickly match it with the questions. But the same thing happens with the questions too. So if I'm reading question number 5 and I got these options, sometimes they can confuse me too, especially because a lot of these words are not the same words that were in the passage. They have been paraphrased. So if I read questions, I gotta explain them to myself as well. If I see negative due to isolation, so I'm thinking, okay, there's some pessimism because people are not interacting with each other. Got you. Neutral with unchanged dynamics, so nothing changes. It's not positive or negative. It's kind of in the middle, and so on. So you're trying to explain things in both passages and the questions to yourself, and that makes the understanding way easier because when you explain it to yourself, you use easier wordings that you can relate to. And these are the things that drastically improve reading comprehension. Let's talk about writing. The most important thing here is you understand the structure. If you want more detailed structures, check out our writing guide in the description. There are tons of videos explaining the writing templates in CELPIP and structures in detail with sample answers. But basically what you need to understand is task 1, email, formal or informal. You got to write 5 paragraphs. Intro and conclusion are greetings. The 3 paragraphs in the middle, they are going to answer the 3 bullet points in the question in sequence, one by one. That's the structure for task 1. Task 2, you got 4 paragraphs. Intro and conclusion mention your opinion. Body 1 mentions reasons why you support your opinion. Body 2 mentions reasons against the other option. So in body 2, you talk about why the other option would be a bad choice. So that's the overview. But again, if you want to get into more detail, check out the writing guide and writing videos in the description. In fact, the guides for all 4 modules are listed in the description. Very useful links. Moreover, in writing, we want to make sure we get our task response right. A lot of people deviate from the actual question asked, and that's because people don't write an outline. So I always highly recommend when you are starting your writing, give 2 to 3 minutes at the start and jot down some points. So in body 1, I'm going to write this point and this point. Body 2, this and this point. Just small words in an outline in the first 2 to 3 minutes, and later you delete that outline. But throughout your writing, you look at that outline because you made it right after reading the question. That is why it's so effective. At that point, you make the outline so your points are 100% related to the question, and later you just follow it. Make sure to do that. But also, do not ignore the value of proofreading. A lot of people ignore this. People are lazy and they want to finish the exam fast. This alone can improve your bands by 1 to 2 points. So make sure to proofread. There should be no excuse why you should skip this. And once again, something very important in writing is vocabulary. Why didn't I say this for speaking? Because in speaking, you are talking. Of course, vocabulary is marked, but it's a little lenient because you're talking on spot. In writing, you can proofread, you can edit, you can backspace. So the examiner expectation from you in writing for vocabulary is very high. How can you improve this? We'll talk about that later because this can take a lot of time. Before that, let's finish up with the easiest module, which is listening, easiest said by many people. Here, you gotta do note-taking, so you gotta be an expert in that, and something else too. But before I get to something else, when you are listening to the audio, you're taking notes, and then you answer the questions. Obviously, the more notes you take, the better your answers will be, because you will remember exactly what was said. In note-taking, make sure to draw symbols or short words or abbreviations. Using them, you wouldn't have to write entire sentences. So find a way to summarize information in note-taking, but also, no matter how good you are, you won't be able to take all the notes, which is why you need to combine the skill with memory retention as well. So while you're listening, you're doing 3 things. One is taking notes. The other is whatever you could not take down on the piece of paper, you are memorizing or remembering that information. And the third thing, of course, is listening. And you got to do all of these things in a short amount of time, which means this skill is something you also need to practice. Once again, guys, we're talking about skills right now, not shortcuts. In this context, building the skill is essential to understand everything in listening and to be able to answer the questions later on. Finally, in terms of listening, if you are able to, once again, just like reading, you're able to listen few seconds, few minutes, and then at home you're able to explain that content to yourself in your own words, that would improve your understanding skills all the more. So make sure to do that practice at home. Listen to a transcript, pause it after 30 seconds, explain it to yourself in your own words. And in the exam, you will simply be doing this in your head, and that will make things way easier. Now, with this said, these are all the skills you need to learn. We haven't talked about the strategy, because the strategy is where all of this is sped up and you learn things step by step, but in a very fast pace. This is where you want to do what 75,000 plus students have done. This is our strategy with our CELPIP 15-hour course that ensures you will improve or all your money back. In this course, what we offer is help on listening, reading, writing, speaking. This is a 15-hour course with lectures packed with strategy, details, tips and tricks, templates, words and phrases, and I was talking about that, focused words and phrases on exactly what is required for CELPIP vocabulary. This course is called all-inclusive for a reason. It gives you detailed guides on all modules, plus it comes with 1 test's teacher feedback, but also 20 tests with AI feedback. In total, you get 25 mock tests with the exam simulator. Plus you get worksheets, plus you get guidance from HZadeducation, and a lot of perks, promotions, details, and lifetime access to strategies that we send via email. This course is right now at a discounted price, immediate access via email, and it is in your description. Check out the link in the description where you will get a discount code for this course. Once again, this course is a money back guaranteed course. You can check out the reviews on our website, check out the reviews anywhere online, and you'll be blown away with what we offer and what we're able to deliver for students. At the end of the day, you want to combine the strategies, combine the techniques that I have taught you in this video, and with those two things together, nobody can stop you from scoring a 10 plus. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe, and remember to enter our giveaway. All you got to do is like this video and comment down below. I'll see you soon.